Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the Football Brotherhood. I'm joined by my brother Christian. We are doing a combined City and Arsenal 11 ahead of the massive Carabao Cup Final. Christian, how are we, mate?
I'm not too bad, buddy. Bit of a rough week in it, but we're back here. I'm looking forward to this one, to be fair, 'cause I think it'll be quite interesting. A few people may be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I, I think I know which way you're going to go on a few of these, but let us know in the comments what you guys
Yeah,
would do. As you can see behind me on the telly, we've got Donnarumma and Raya, goalkeeper. We're going to go through position by position. We're going to give you our thoughts and a little bit of a lowdown on what we think of the players involved. We've also gone with what
yeah.
we think the 11s will be as best we can. Look, Pep Guardiola's involved here, so he could throw out a Savinho. He could throw out a O'Reilly or left wing or something mad.
Bring back Fernandinho and just put him in somewhere. Yeah, just anything's possible, man.
Facts, man. Okay, well, let's get straight to it. The two behind us are the two goalkeepers who I'm guessing have probably kept the most clean sheets this season. I've not
Yeah.
looked. I know Raya's probably on for another Fugazi Golden Glove. Look, I think people know my thoughts on Raya. I mean, look, just going for a combined 11, Donnarumma gets in immediately. I assume you think the same?
Yeah, look, I know you're quite critical of Raya, probably more than me. But you have made some fair points. I think he has let in some suspect shots. I think his long distance
Hmm.
shooting it's not a big strength of his. Donnarumma by far clears this. The only thing I would say, Donnarumma from set pieces isn't convincing. Which going into this game, that could play a big part. I think they're going to be hitting him with them. He did actually do weirdly well at the Emirates, to be fair. But no, look, overall between Raya and
Hmm.
Donnarumma, this is pretty simple. I can't imagine two Arsenal fans will be too pissed with that.
Yeah, Raya's better with close range stuff. Donnarumma's excellent at
Reactionary.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
Raya's poor from outside the box shooting. I don't know if that's something City can look at. But Donnarumma
Yeah.
off corners. We saw another one.
Well, we don't shoot, so probably not.
West Ham got another one straight off a corner, flapping around. He's been at it all season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing, isn't it? It is a thing. I think Italian media they talk about it when he plays for the national team that he struggles off
Yeah.
corners. It doesn't make sense. I think
It
he's
doesn't make
very.
sense because look, the guy's such an imposing figure and so confident. It's beyond strange. And I mean, even that, I know it's not in the same category, but when he came out and he sort of was positionally a bit lost and
Mm,
didn't know whether to take the ball from Valverde and left a trailing arm. I don't
mm,
know whether he's just not as comfortable when he goes further out or when it's put on him and stuck on him in the middle. It's strange, but it's a
mm.
game. It's a part of his game that he really needs to improve, especially in England and the way we're going,
Especially for Sunday.
especially for Sunday. That's it.
That's it. Okay. Unanimous. Let us know in the comments. I know David Raya is a bit of a cult hero, but I assume everyone's on Donnarumma. But let us know either way. Come on. We want to see some
Yeah.
Raya love in the comments, don't we? I can explain to you why he's shit. You can explain why you think he's good. Right. Let's go. Right back. Okay. Look, I think Mateus Nunes is going to play, hence why he's on the screen, next to Yuri and Timber, who I think might make
Yeah.
it. If it's not, it's Ben White. We've put Timber in because obviously he is their first choice right back. Um, look, I'll go first on this. It is obviously Timber, right? Timber is a right back. Nunes is not. The only thing I would say is Timber's faded, and I think he's probably been ran into the ground by Arteta and the
Yeah.
number of games they've played, and he obviously had an ACL not that long ago. Um, and I will give Nunes a little bit of credit here. I do think that he has done okay at right back. I think he's one of the few people who's good for a good cross for Haaland.
Yeah.
And probably why he
Agree.
played midweek. I know it wasn't the most popular decision, but probably why he did play against Real Madrid in the second leg is because of his crossing. So look, clearly I am going Timber in a combined 11, but I do want to just, Timber, I think beginning of the season, I thought he was one of the best right backs in the league. He looks a bit leggy now, and obviously Nunes, offensively okay, defensively not great. I mean, what are you saying?
Yeah, so it's strange. I watch a lot of other City content creators, and I see this banded around quite a lot that Nunes has been one of our best players this season. Which, if they're running with that, I think that just shows the state of repairs we're currently in. Nunes, look, I agree with it, some of what you said there, Alex. I think he brings something different to our team offensively. He can actually cross a ball, which says a lot about our wingers. That one of our best crosses of the ball is Mateus Nunes. So fair play to him. He can put in a good one. One of them flat crosses, I think, is probably the best thing in his arsenal. But I think what people seem to forget is when Nunes has to defend, when he's asked to defend one-on-one especially, or even sometimes his lapses in concentration and the loose passes along the back line, it's beyond concerning. He is not a natural right back, and I think he shows you that more times than none. So for me, this is quite simple. I think Timber has been reliable. I think he's been superb. To be honest, for the
Mm,
first half of the season, I think he was one of Arsenal's best players.
yeah.
Like you say, I think the amount of game time that they're trying to cram this guy in with, but yeah, look, it's a simple, straightforward decision for me. So yeah, Timber goes straight in.
Yeah, absolute lock, Timber. Okay, we've got one each. Okay, let's come to the defence. We've got centre backs. Obviously, I've just paired. Look, I didn't know which
Yeah,
way to go. I've gone with. I don't think it probably matters overall. Although would like to touch on Kusanov, who is coming up next. Okay, we've got Ruben Diaz. Gahey is ineligible, by the way, for anybody. At least I believe he is. So
yeah,
we think it's going to be Diaz and Kusanov. We're going with Diaz against Saliba here. I actually think Saliba is one of the best centre backs in the world. Personally, I rate him higher than Gabriel. I think he's a very, very good centre back. He's younger as well, which is scary. Got great potential.
yeah.
And Ruben Diaz is a guy who's fading, and that's the truth of it. Brahim Diaz sat him down on Tuesday. You know, it's not these elite forwards, and I don't know if it's the whole Maya Jama Love Island shit. Is he going a bit in that, like the picture behind us now? He looks a bit like a Love Island model. It looks like he's about to go into the villa on the telly behind us. You know,
Bombshell.
and it sort of sums him up a little bit for me. I thought he was good. I don't
Yeah.
think he's good anymore. Saliba's a lot for me, Christian.
Yeah, for me, Saliba goes straight in. There was a lot of talk with Ruben Diaz when he was out for injury, and obviously we had a period in time where we were shoving in Max Lane and Kusanov as a partnership. And
That
don't
was
get
a
me
fun
wrong, that
time.
didn't go. Yeah, for you, yeah, that
Shout out
didn't
the
go
derby.
to plan. That didn't go to
Yeah.
plan. Obviously, we all saw how that ended up.
Mm.
But Diaz coming back in, I think people overstated the importance of him, and I think the difference has been, yeah, he's shored it up a little bit, but I think this guy has been on the decline for a number of years now. I don't think he's coming back. I just think this is his level. I think you'll get 60 minutes of him looking good. I think when the guy is pressed, especially with world class opposition, he gets found out. We saw him get sat down the other night. Yeah, I worry with Diaz. I think he's lost. I don't think he's lost a yard either. I think this guy's lost 2 yards, which is very strange because he's
Damn it.
not. Alex, this guy isn't old.
No.
But yeah, just mate, that's pretty simple for me. Saliba go straight away, just a little bit on him. I think, yeah, I align with your views, mate. I think the guy's world class. Weirdly, they've had a little bit of moments, haven't they, in the second half of the
Mm.
season, Arsenal. Maybe you could put it down to the nerves, the Arsenal way. We all expected them to crumble. They've actually kind of settled a little bit.
Yeah,
But we have seen a little bit of things in their defense that haven't gone to plan recently. But yeah, overall, this is a straightforward one. Saliba, 100%.
No, completely. Let's come to the guy who I do think has been having some wobbles when he came back from injury in Gabriel, and I know that
Yeah,
I think people typically rate him higher. I personally don't, although he is a very good player. Again, I'll go first, and then I'll open the floor up to you to talk about Kusanov a little bit. I'm going to go
yeah,
Gabriel, obviously. Kusanov is. We've not seen enough of the guy, but I do want to give him his major flowers. I thought he was the best player on the pitch for City on Tuesday against Real Madrid, and I don't think that's the first time this season either. And
no,
I don't think there's ever been a player whose debut has ever maligned a reputation as much as Kusanov, because other than the Chelsea debut, I don't think he's been bad. I'd actually
no,
go on to say that every time I've seen him, I actually think he's looked good. Um, so look, massive credit to Kusanov, and I think he's got some great attributes. Honestly, I think he's decent on the ball. I think his pace is incredible, and for a team that's lost Kyle Walker in recent years, to have underutilized Kusanov, I'm pleased he's getting his opportunity this weekend. Which without Gahey, I'm sure
yeah,
he will be starting. Hence where we've got him right now behind us against Gabriel. However, Gabriel is reliable. He is very good. He is a leader, and Gabriel gets it for me. But Kusanov, shout at him.
yeah. So no, I'm glad you brought it up, Alex. I think if people just didn't watch that Real Madrid game and then maybe just watched a few highlights or read up a little bit on it, they could be dragged into maybe thinking that Kusanov, was taught a lesson that day. I tell you what, it was far from it. Spectacular performance, and it isn't the first time. And by the way, it seems to be a bit like Kyle Walker. The best opposition seems to bring out the best in him. Alex, when he's rushing out, his time in the tackles is superb. He seems to make the right decision making. We always knew he was a bit like rash, but I feel like he's doing the thing. He's doing the aggression kind of part of his game at the
Mm.
right times. He's timing tackles well. His pace, obviously, is unbelievable. That bails him out. I mean, he is quicker than most attackers in world football. I'd probably say maybe Mbappe's got something on him. Other than that, I think you're scratching your head. I think Kusanov is going to be one for the future. If I was going long term, if this was a different kind of episode, there's no fucking way I'm having Gabriel
No.
over Kusanov, because I think Kusanov's age, his abilities, what he's showing at this age is
Potential.
superb, and he's only going to get better. I know that's something you hate, our kid, but I think with this one, I think you can let it go.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Gabriel, mate. Look, I can't really forget that this guy had a bit of a bozo streak in him for a good 3 seasons. I don't just let that slide, but I will admit, especially the last 2 seasons, he's been superb, and even an offensive threat. I think the way that Arsenal have moved in this direction without him and Saliba, I know Saliba's dried up a little bit this year with the goals, but Gabriel off corners and set pieces, he's a man mountain. He has added that calmness to his game. He slowed things down. So Gabriel 100% gets in this lineup, but overall, massive shout out to Kusanov.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of the dark arts to him as well, Gabriel, which I know pisses people off. It pisses me off, but he's maximising the rules and the poor decision making. He's very good at that slowing down shit where the ball's bouncing and he don't want it, and he wins the fouls, and fair play to him. So look, you mentioned the offensive threat, big one this weekend for City. How they contain Gabriel off corners is a massive one.
Tied in with what we were saying about Donnarumma, Alex. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's a crucial 100%. Area of the pitch, in which I think is going to be won or lost.
Very good point. Okay, let's get to left back. This is tricky, isn't it? Because I almost didn't even know who to put in for both sides. Hincapié has played there for a while now because of Calafiori's injury. Miles Lewis-Skelly's completely out the picture. Ait-Nouri has been back in, and I do think City have been better there. Coupled with the fact O'Reilly is not there. O'Reilly's in midfield, who we're going to come to O'Reilly in a minute. Look, this is a tricky one for me. I think... You know what? I want you to go first on this one. I want you to go first. Who you having? It's a one-off game. Who you having?
100% I'm going Ait-Nouri. I think since Ait-Nouri's coming, he's had a slow start. Obviously, we started the season with O'Reilly. I get your point. We didn't really know who to put up against Hincapié, and even Arsenal switch a little bit of that area of the pitch. So I would be going Ait-Nouri. I think when he has come in, he's showed us up. He's given us a difference in offensive areas as well. I think, again, aligned with Núñez, our fullbacks are probably where Haaland looks for his goals. I'm not even joking, which it's a bit of a shame. And I'm not saying they're excellent in that area either. But, Ait-Nouri, I think he can come into his own, especially next year. Hincapié, I think he's done well. I just think Hincapié feels a bit more like, I'm not making a player-for-player comparison. I know a lot of Arsenal fans will tune into this. I'm more meaning the Zinchenko version at Manchester City. I just think that area of the pitch, we've seen it with Calafiori. They seem to stick players in there, and then they're the best thing since sliced bread. They'll go and sign another defender next year and they'll put him in there. I think Arsenal are just going to roll like that. We did it for a time, Alex. We had Fabian Delph that we slotted in. We've done it a lot of times with a lot of different players. I don't think he's that special as a left back. I think he's a good player, but it doesn't really stand out to me. For me, I go traditional left back. He's good offensively, great dribbler, all assets that I don't really see in Hincapié's game. So yeah, it's straightforward for me.
Yeah, I think he's okay, Hincapié. I think he's improved as the season's gone on. Obviously got more minutes. Opposite Ait-Nouri, it's been stop-start injuries, then kept out the team by O'Reilly.
Strange decisions from Pep as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I just don't think he's ever got going, and I think recently we've seen a little bit more, certainly as an offensive threat, and I'm happy to go with you on Ait-Nouri 100%. Okay, battle of the DMs. Spanish teammates here, by the way, and Zubimendi came across our radar in the Euro final against England when Rodri got injured at halftime, and we thought we were all going to coast home when Rodri went off and Zubimendi came on and was actually really good. Since then, Arsenal have obviously signed him, and we've seen him performing in the Prem as a DM, allowing Rice to be more box-to-box. Okay, I'm interested in this. I really want to hear what people got to say in this, particularly Arsenal fans watching this, and City fans, of course, if you're watching. Appreciate it. So let us know on the DMs here, because I think this is a big one. Okay, I'll go first, right? One-off game, which is a one-off game, by the way. Yes, both teams play in Prem, but it's a cup final. This is who can hold their nerve as much as anything. I'm going Rodri over Zubimendi, right? I know Rodri has not fully recovered from what I think he got rushed back from an ACL. I don't think he's I I don't think he's fully back physically, but he's playing the minutes now, which is great. He's obviously getting through 90 minutes, which is fantastic for him.
Yeah,
And hopefully it's going to build him back up. I want to talk about very quickly when United signed Falcao. He tore his ACL in January. We signed him in August, and he was poor that season. He went to Chelsea. He was poor again, and then he went back to Monaco, and he was a massive part of that Monaco team with Mbappe, Bernardo
yeah.
Silva, and they got to the semis of the Champions League. And it took Falcao 24 months, and he spoke about how he rushed himself back to try and get to that World Cup for Colombia that summer. He then didn't get going at United, didn't get going at Chelsea, and it took him 2 years. And I wonder if Rodri might be the same, where the end of this season will be, what we're coming up then. End of this season will be 2 years, almost 2 years since the injury. I think
Yeah.
next season we might see almost the best of Rodri, but in a one-off game, I'm still lining up with Rodri personally. I think Zubamendi's had an okay season.
Very interesting, Alex, that with
Mm.
the Falcao thing. I never actually
Yeah.
thought of that because, yeah,
Yeah,
I
because I know
mean, I
you're worried,
remember.
aren't you? And City fans are worried, and I do. Obviously, I know a lot about this injury. I did a lot of my own research with ACLs because I tore my own, so I know a lot about
Yeah.
it. And I just find it interesting reading how athletes come back from it. And Falcao was one that stuck because at the time I didn't really think. I thought he came back in August, 7-8 months recovery. Rodri was 7-8 months, and that's very quick for an ACL. So yeah, I think the best is still to come from Rodri. Ballon d'Or level might not be reachable, but he's still the guy I want to be stood in front of in the tunnel
Yeah,
on
you mean
Sunday.
post recovery best?
Yeah, but even on Sunday, I still want to see Rodri in my team. I think Zubamendi's been okay. He's a decent DM. I don't think he's got the ceiling of Rodri. Clearly, he's nowhere
No,
near going to be a Ballon
there's
d'Or
no
level
chance.
DM. He's a good DM. I think he's allowed Rice to express himself. I think he's a 7 out of 10 DM. I think Rodri still. I want him in my ranks in a cup final, and City do have that. Tell me where you're at with this, though.
Zubamendi is nowhere near where Rodri was.
No.
I still don't. I still don't even think this version of Rodri he is better than, which says it all because I've been coming on here and telling you we're sending Rodri to the slaughter every single week, putting Bernardo Silva in the midfield next to him. So that's where I'm at with it. I
Mm.
think Zubamendi defensively. Look, Declan Rice is the most important player in their team,
Mm.
and I think it shows. Zubamendi could not hold that midfield down with, say, an Eze or slot in maybe like a Trossard or something crazy, which is what is equivalent to
Great
what
point.
we're really trying to do and make fit really.
Yeah, great point.
Zubamendi, I don't think he's a terrible player or anything
No.
like that. I think I'm with you on it. I think he's a solid player, but he needs someone incredible next to him, like a Declan Rice, to make that work. If you put him there on his own, you've got to remember what Rodri was doing, Alex. Rodri was just sold to hold it down, let Gundogan and De Bruyne do what the fuck they wanted offensively. That is insanity. And not only that, let's think about how offensive Rodri was himself. He picked his moments. His cross spray balls when he was on the edge of the box and he'd pick it out, Mahrez first touch. It was like our staple that season.
Mm.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Zubamendi is never going to get close to him. So that's the end of that. Rodri goes straight in.
100% here. Great piece on that. Okay, let's come to midfield partners. Look, I feel a little bit unfortunate here for Nico O'Reilly. I have not manipulated the positions to benefit certain players. The box to
Yeah.
box is the box to box, and I know it feels harsh because O'Reilly, his first real season, although he did feature last year, but first sort of certainly in midfield anyway, where he is playing and where we believe he might play on Sunday
Yeah.
against a very well established international Declan Rice, who is favourite for PFA Player of the Season. There's no doubt here. Every body on planet Earth is picking Declan Rice in a combined 11. I think he's had a very good season. I think he's a very good player. And look, he is, like you said it perfectly, he's their most important player. If he got injured, they'd be absolutely fucked. But let's not waste time talking about Rice. Talk about Nico O'Reilly and what you have liked this season. And also talk to me about this matchup. They are going to be matching up on Sunday. Can O'Reilly do something on Sunday, get the better of Rice in some instances, and Zubamendi
Yeah.
as well?
I think having O'Reilly is so important, isn't it? We've seen when we lost that physicality in midfield, no one could really step in and do the same job. So yeah, look, O'Reilly has had an incredible season. He started at left back, a superb performance actually at the Emirates very early on in the season. He's then come into his own and gone into his preferred position as well. He's added goals to his game, arriving late into the box, good in the air as well. Yeah, look, I think he's going to even get player of the season, young player of the season as well.
Yeah,
However, he does come up against Declan Rice, who
could be player of the
probably is
season.
going to get player of the season. So, yeah,
Yeah.
look, Declan Rice, I was just trying to sing his praises on the last one. To the point of, I think if Rodri was coming back post ACL, he had a Declan Rice in midfield next to him, I think you'd have seen a different version and different responsibilities on Rodri's back, and therefore maybe seeing his
Mm.
recovery easing a little bit rather than just being thrown in at the deep end. Rice is incredible, box to box strength. I think we're going to struggle in that midfield area. I
Okay.
really do, because Declan Rice, Zubimendi is solid. I think they pair up very well. Rice, O'Reilly's going to have to really be on his game. He's going to have to be physical. He's going to need
Mm.
help. Rodri's also going to have to not be sloppy on the ball, because I think they're going to be able to press us much quicker than we're going to be able to press them. Bernardo Silva's going to need to be on it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's an area of the pitch, again, also I'm concerned about. But let's see what can happen. But
Is
yeah,
it
Declan Rice, mate. Straight in.
is it a signing you really look back on that 100 million and wish you just went all in? I know you were interested. You offered 100 million, they offered
Yeah.
105 and got the deal done. I know at the time City had the you were in the post treble era. It was like, we can do what we want. We are amazing. Is it with hindsight looking back, you really are devastated you missed out on that? Looking how it panned out with Rodri, ACL, etc.
Well, apparently we just did it because Arteta rang up and asked us to. I think that was the
All right,
notion on that. But
the collusion accusation from
yeah.
any Aluko.
Jesus,
A
man.
bit of fraud.
But yeah, look, hindsight, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Look, I didn't see this. I'll be totally straight up. I watched quite a bit of Declan Rice at West Ham. Shout out for the European trophy he won there as well. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not see him going to this level and being one of the most important players in the Premier League. So shout out him. Yes, of course, in answer to your question, I think looking at it now, he would have been perfect as well. We're all scrambling around the league, aren't we? We're looking at
Yeah.
Elliot Anderson's.
Yeah.
We're seeing that price gets fucking inflated because of your Declan Rice, and it's that English tax.
Mm.
And I know I'm looking at saying Elliot Anderson. I'm like, I can't see him going on to things. But you never know, do you? Because I said the same about Rice, but I really just don't see it. I really don't see that. And I think, yeah, they won the lottery ticket there. So,
yeah, no, very well put. And obviously his delivery, again, we're going back to the corners. We've had Donnarumma, we've had Gabriel. This guy's the corner
Another
taker,
thing.
and he's become brilliant at that. So
Another string to his bow. Yeah.
100%, and a massive one at that. Okay, we're on to number 10. I know Bernardo Silva isn't quote unquote number 10. We think Guardiola. Well, Bernardo Silva will play. I think from your perspective, you're hoping it is in that midfield three, just so we don't lose out on a Cherky, who we're going to come to in a minute. I believe Eze will play over Odegaard. Eze's been playing better recently. Odegaard is injured.
Nice
and
goal.
has been
Nice goal in the Champions League.
phenomenal goal, by the way,
nice
and a big one as well. At 1-1 on aggregate, it's a dicey scoreline, and he delivered with a great goal. And obviously he's pulverised Tottenham this year with about 5 goals. This is a really interesting one. Do you want to go first on this one? Because I sort of know what I'm going to say. I want to hear what you've got to say first, though.
Yeah. Look, this is so difficult because I was a big fan of Eze, actually, and he was one of the players that I always thought City might have put a name in the hat, but we didn't move for him. Arsenal did. I've not liked the version of Eze that I've seen at Arsenal currently. I know he's had a couple of standout games, specifically against Tottenham on both occasions. Like I say, very nice strike in the Champions League. His first goal in Europe. And I think, you see little moments from him, but the game seems to pass him by when he's got an Arsenal shirt on. He doesn't seem to know where he wants to be or where his teammates want him to be. Especially, like, I remember the Brentford one when we all thought they were really rocking and they dropped points. And Eze just looked that first half. I was like, they're going to need to bring him off now. And it was like half an hour in. And I felt like I've had this feeling quite a lot watching Eze in an Arsenal shirt. So it must be quite frustrating. I'd like some input maybe from Arsenal fans in the comments. I'd be interested what you guys think. I mean, straight up looking at it, do I think Eze is a better player than Odegaard? Yes, I do. But in the way they play, do I think he suits their system better than Odegaard? No, I actually don't. So it's a tough one. Then you've got Bernardo Silva, Alex. Now, I've been super critical, not of him, more of our management playing this guy week in, week out, making him captain. I said this was a problem when he was named captain at the start of the year. I was like, well, he's playing every single minute. That is exactly what has transpired. And we have no legs in midfield. We're trying to pedal post-ACL Rodri, who is noticeably struggling, flagging in games. And then you got Bernardo Silva, who can't pick up the pieces. He's still trying to play the way he did. Obviously, he's dropping deeper and deeper. Don't get me wrong, you still see these flashes of how good he is on the ball. He's a smart player. He wins fouls. But if you want me to be honest, Bernardo Silva is an absolute all-timer. Eze has not had a great time at Arsenal this season on whole.
Tricky one, this.
But I think if you're going into this game and you want me to be honest of who I would want in that position in a couple of days, I'm going to have to go with Eze.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's mad, but
I think I think that was a really good comparison you just did there. So I'm just going to very quickly piggyback on most of what you just said. I think, and this might sound like I'm sitting on the fence a little bit here. I think Arsenal wouldn't swap Eze for Bernardo because of Rice and Zubimendi, and they've got a solid base.
yeah.
City have got Rodri and O'Reilly, and that's why I think Bernardo is maybe a better fit for City in this game. So I think, even though it's a comparison and a combined 11, you go with probably Eze. But I think if you're actually picking the player, those two behind have a massive bearing on who I would pick here. And coincidentally, Bernardo Silva plays for the team that I think needs him there. And I think Eze is playing for a team that can afford to have him there, albeit he hasn't.
It's a very good point.
Very well put.
Yeah.
He hasn't hit the ground running like I think most of us expected. Probably struggled to obviously, how do I get in over the club captain? And it was a difficult start to the season. Big one on Sunday for Eze. Obviously, he's got great memories against Man City, as short as last season with the FA Cup final winner. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Eze plays. And he's got a big job, and Bernardo's got a big job on Zubimendi. So those two on the screen, I mean...
What I will say, Alex, as well, is Bernardo Silva. Some City fans might be pissed off if they've got to this point in the video and they've seen I've gone this way. But Bernardo Silva, look, there's no debating. He would wipe the floor with any of these guys. Prime version.
Yeah, he's an all-time great, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But we're looking at a game in a couple of days and where Bernardo Silva currently is at in his career. And let's be honest, are we happy that he starts every week? Most City fans, I think, align with my point.
Yeah,
we're not. We all recognise we need some more energy in there. But it is where we are currently at. And I do think, by the way, that Bernardo and Eze both benefit from Cherki being shifted out wide. Otherwise, if Cherki was in this argument, I think you'd have seen a different choice altogether. But anyway, we'll get to him later on.
Yes, we will get to him later on. I think he might be next. He is next. And he's against Bukayo Saka, who has just pocketed himself a 300 grand a week contract. So shout out him and his agent, particularly his agent, by the way. But no, credit to him. I mean, look, you want to earn the most you can in your profession, and I can guarantee you Bukayo Saka is doing that with this new deal. Ryan Cherki, on the other hand, is a new signing coming over from Ligue 1, a much slower, weaker league than the Prem. And he came over at a cut price, and obviously you were obviously, with hindsight, you got him instead of Ertz, which is the most incredible decision that's gone your way, really. Okay, I'll go first on this. The answer is Cherki, because Cherki's better than Saka. This isn't. There's no need to get too technical with this. They both left-footed right wingers who lack searing pace, but one can create better than the other. And I don't think there's a lot more to say than what I'd love people to come and tell me, really, what does Saka give the edge? I know what Saka's good at. He's good at ball retention, he's good at winning fouls, and he's good at crossing from corners. But I've got Cherki who can do all that, and he's a much better passer. Definitely that slide ball in behind. You saw his first touch against West Ham. He played Haaland in one-on-one. I don't see it. Okay, he hasn't got the striker that Cherki has, but I just don't see it consistently from Saka. I don't think he's a miles better dribbler than Cherki, although he's got a bit quicker, fleet foot than Cherki. But again, I think Cherki can wriggle out of space. He's better than Saka. So for me, it's an absolute no-brainer. And certainly in a one-off game on Sunday, I'm taking Cherki, no doubt. I think I know where you're going to go, but I want to give you the floor.
Yeah, 100%. Some great points, Alex. Yeah, I think, look, Saka, it's a shame, actually. I watched a video on, I think Troops put it out, and I agree with a lot of what he said. He was like, there were some highlights from games that Saka now, when he squares up his man, he doesn't fancy it. a lot of the time, God, I saw some highlights in
Mm,
that video, and he was getting the ball trapped under his feet, just turning around, passing it back. He
mm.
does not look confident one-on-one anymore, which is a shame because I think that was one of his best assets. His blistering pace, scaring off the defenders. They were retreating, backing off. How many penalties the guy was winning, things like that.
Mm.
Yeah, look, it's a shame. I don't know whether we will see the best of Saka again. He's had some nasty injuries. I mean, I think it was a grade 3 hamstring.
Yeah.
They're serious, and they're serious for wingers that have been playing non-stop since they've been 18. And I think Arteta plays a
Mm.
real big part in, I'd say, the misuse of Bukayo Saka and where he's currently at in his career. I mean, we're looking at this, and I'm seeing videos online, and they're saying, "Oh, don't worry about England's front line. So we've got Bukayo on the right." Bukayo does not deserve recognition that he just starts on the right.
Mm.
He has been poor for a long time in England now, and
Yeah.
it's going to need to be called out. The answer to this question: Ryan Cherky is miles better than this guy right now. Saka does not look confident. He looks a shell of himself. Cherky, you've seen it. When he comes on, he is being underused by Pep Guardiola, but I'm not going to use that against him in this argument. That's not fair. We're talking about who we
Mm.
would want playing
Yeah.
in a couple of days' time. It's a straightforward decision. When Cherky is on the pitch, the ball, when he has got players in close proximity, and we're talking 3 Real Madrid players, and he's got to shift the ball to Doku, he finds space. He's a creative, technical dribbler. I just don't see this in Saka's game anymore. Not only that, he's added some goals to his game,
Mm.
assists this year. This is about the most straightforward one on the pitch. The only thing I would say is Saka, maybe you're a little bit unfortunate because I think Cherky's best position is the 10, in which case your mate Eze would be out the window and Bernardo as well.
Fair
But
point.
yeah, if we're
But on
going with where I
Sunday,
think Cherky would start, then Saka, you ain't making the cut, bruv. I'm sorry.
Cherky's going to play off the right. He will not play 10 in this game. I'd be
Well,
absolutely
if he
floored.
doesn't, Alex, we won't. If he doesn't, mate, we won't score because
Yeah.
Cherky is the only player that I believe has the bollocks to make anything happen in this team. I think we've got a lot of players I don't really recognise as Manchester City stars right now. I think they're poor. I think their
Mm.
decision making in the final third is
Mm.
shocking. Their creativity, their crossing, poor. So if Cherky doesn't play, Arsenal will win. It's as simple as that.
I would echo that, definitely. I mean, last one on Saka. If we're doing this in 12 months' time, it might not be Saka on the screen behind us. It might be Max Dowman. That's how looking over his shoulder Bukayo Saka has to be.
Yeah.
You've got the deal, but I tell you, there's a 16-year-old kid coming for your minutes, and I see,
worrying.
and I tell you what, he's someone that we might see on Sunday as well. So, yeah, look, I mean, let us know in the
Yeah,
comments.
shout out
I know.
Dalman.
Yeah, Max could be the one. I mean, Max might be better than both of them in 2 years. So yeah, shout at him. Okay, left wing. Okay, right. Look, these two. Semenyo is a unique player, but he is a seriously big goal threat. And even though I think he's got shortcomings in other areas of his game, he is a ridiculous goal threat. I actually think the way Sunday could go, I think he's the biggest threat to Arsenal goal wise.
Especially with Haaland's form.
Yeah, especially with Haaland's form and also the service. I don't think Haaland's got the service to excel. I'm not saying he can't score. He got one against Real Madrid, but yeah, I think this guy Semenyo he can sniff out chances. He can shoot from the edge of the box, and I think it's going to be key how he performs for City. So in simple terms, the answer to the combined 11 is Semenyo because Trossard is shit. I don't really know if there's anything more I have to say. He was mid at Brighton. He's mid at Arsenal. He'll be mid whenever he goes to Villa in the later stages of his career. I don't know what the hype is about this guy. I've never watched 90 minutes of Trossard and been impressed, and I don't think I ever will. So an absolute no-brainer, Antoine Semenyo for me.
Yeah, Trossard's one of them names, Alex, where you look at Arsenal's starting 11 each week and where they are in the table and that they're going to take home a Premier League title. And you're looking at Trossard and you're like bamboozled as to how he's a part of a front three of a winning Premier League side. But
just on that, is he one of the worst starting wingers to ever win a Prem title? Because Saka, look, we agree Saka's got short, but Saka's not in that category of I think he's dog. Like Saka's a decent player. He has 7 out of 10 games. He has the odd 8. This guy,
Saka's running through a bad spell, and I think in a point in his career where he's struggling post injuries and Arteta's usage of him, Trossard is generally just not that good. So yeah, I don't know. That's an area they're going to have to upgrade. Look, we all expected that Martinelli was going to take that place, didn't we? But Martinelli's career has been a bit strange,
Yeah.
a bit up and down, and we don't really know where is he. Just he kind of is what he is,
He's
really. I
shit
think
as
it's an
well.
area they're going to look at. But I tell you what, if Arsenal do upgrade in that area, I mean, it'd be scary if they went and upgraded the number 9 area as well, especially God, we
Yeah.
saw Julian Alvarez last night. Anyway, all hearsay things, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty straightforward to me, Alex. Semenyo is he's a lot more clunky than I thought he was going to be. Look, I'm
Same.
not going to sit here and
Yeah, man.
lie and say I watched a lot of Bournemouth
Yeah.
games. I actually did a video and I was very happy with signing this guy. I still am. I was
Yeah.
right in what I said. He's bringing goals to the front line, which we lacked. And without that, Jesus, we would
Mm.
have been fighting around with you, Villa, and the rest of them for top 4, if I'm being totally honest.
No, yeah, 100%.
So it's a signing we needed, but he is more clunky. And the first touch surprised me a little bit. He's a very scruffy dribbler, and his ability to beat his man isn't as good as I actually thought it was.
Right.
So yeah, there's a few things to Semenyo's game, but in this, I think, like you said, he's so important, especially coming in, and we're gonna have to really sniff our goal in this if
Yeah.
Haaland's. I know we did get a goal the other day, Haaland, but he has been a little bit like this where he gets one and then he just doesn't look right at the moment. His body language, just
Yeah.
everything seems off, his energy. So Semenyo's going to be important. His ability to arrive late into the box. And by the way, he's a fucking superb finisher.
Yeah, yeah,
He's an
he is,
absolute
man.
killer in front of goal, this
100%.
lad. So yeah, Semenyo, easy one, man.
Okay, totally agree. Big one on Sunday, by the way, for these two. Trossard defensively and Semenyo offensively. Right, okay, let's come to the last two, the number 9s, the two big lads. All right, big un. Right, okay. This is we both thought Gyökeres was a good signing for Arsenal, and I do want to concede he's got himself to a reasonable point statistically. I've been very underwhelmed with Gyökeres. I did expect him to. I did say if they sign him, they'll win the league. They might win the league, but it's not because of him. However, he is obviously in better form, quote unquote, than Haaland. Haaland has gone through a really awful spell. His last 17, 18 games, I think that was his third open play goal in his last 17 or 18, which is remarkable for a guy of his pedigree. Erling Haaland has been a ridiculous goal scorer. I still think he is, by the way, obviously. I don't think this is a reflection on him. I think there's a few things, like you said, something is a little bit off. I don't know if he's struggling with something, maybe confidence, maybe physically, and the squad build has not been perfect for him either. But he did get the goal, and not that if he didn't, I would be picking Gyökeres. Clearly, I'm picking Erling Haaland here. However, what I will say to you is, and obviously this is, I want you to go on this, I think this is a big one for Haaland. And I'm not just necessarily talking about the comparison to the guy next to him on the screen in Gyökeres, but yes, you want to be 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, Christian, and sat there going, Erling Haaland had a better game than Gyökeres, not the other way around. And certainly he got the goals or got more goals than Gyökeres. And another thing on Haaland, he's not been great in finals. He's not. It's just the facts.
Eight
Wow.
finals. Alex.
Well, the ones that come to mind, obviously, 2 against my guys, which City won 1, lost 1. He did nothing in either. The Inter Milan final, he did nothing in. So
Palace one sticks out, mate.
Palace gave the pen to Marmoush. My God, that was the worst one, right? So look, a big one for Haaland, not just because you're comparing to the big fella at Arsenal, but also because of his reputation in finals. Christian, talk to me on this one.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to bore anyone and draw this out long. Obviously, it would be Erling Haaland.
Yes.
Gyökeres, you are right. He is underwhelmed. I think the guy is quite poor, to be honest. He 100% is what he is. This guy isn't getting any better because his general IQ isn't very good. His head's down. I'm talking about clunky, my God, this guy. He's not a good footballer. Any Arsenal fan that wants to come in the comments, comment how good you think he is. I will correct you. And I can even add a few videos, clips of this dude that I've watched all year. He is shit. He will get you probably 10. Maybe you could get at a push close to 15, but I'd like to see it. I just think he's poor. And he has took a few penalties this year as well, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
some padding.
yeah, Gyökeres, that's enough on him. Erling Haaland, where he's at currently, yeah, it's a struggle. And I've kept thinking we've turned a corner. His goal at Fulham, really nice strike outside the box. And I thought, right, we've got a bit of foundation to build on now. I certainly don't think this guy is void of confidence. I can't see that being an issue with Erling Haaland. Doesn't strike me. But there is a problem. So whatever this issue is, it does need to be resolved. You are right, Alex. He has let us down in finals. A lot of the time as well, it's come to our detriment. You know, you look even in the Champions League final when we did actually win it. He was poor that game,
It was,
and I think overall he's got to look at this now, and this is more a pride thing. The Carabao is not a huge competition. We used to win this like they were handing out a bag of jelly babies.
Just on the
So it
Carabao, though,
never used to
Christian,
be.
do you think this is a big one considering it is the
This is
Carabao?
what I
I
was
think
just
it's one of the biggest finals in
Alex, this is what I was
recent
getting to. This is what I was getting to because I think, yeah, in the past we've won a lot, but when you've got Watford in the final, I know that was the FA Cup, but when you've got these
Yeah.
last teams in the final, a Spurs, for instance,
No.
we put them away, it doesn't seem the cutting edge. This is a point where Arsenal want to take our crown and tell us that they're top dog now, and I think
Oh, it's a
it
huge
would
one,
take
mate.
a little. It would take a little bit off them. No doubt they're
Yeah.
going to win the Premier League, right? So fair play.
It's looking that way, Christian.
And they're not going to look back if they lose the Carabao and be like, what a terrible season, we lost that. I'm not saying that, but City have got to fight back. This is more important to us than it is to them because we've got to give them a little bit of a counter punch and be like, we're not fucking rolling over and we will be back. We're taking this crown. You're taking that one, but we will come back from this. And I think this is where City have got to stand tall that day. They've got to bring this home. And you're leaders of this group and you're looking at Erling Haaland. Bro, you've got to stand up. You know, I was watching Jay and Big Steve, actually, and shout out those guys. It was a great video. And they were going back and forth about Erling Haaland. And I agree with both of them to a certain extent. But Jay was making points on Erling Haaland and his wages and things. And Steve wasn't too happy that was being brought up. I've got to be honest, though, it's relevant. Like, this guy's taking home $500,000 a week. Now, we have got to bring this to the conversation. This guy valued himself at that, and so did we. If he's standing around, his body language is poor, and he's laughing and joking when we're losing big games. And by the way, Donnarumma, I saw you doing the same shit at West Ham. It's not fucking good enough. A title's on the line. We did not see Kevin De Bruyne fucking doing this when Coutinho scored and puts 2-0 down against Aston Villa. That motherfucker leant down and he strapped his boots up and he was like, let's fucking go. And that's what I need to see more from these characters because currently it worries me. So,
Brilliant.
yeah, let's go for it. And Erling Haaland, of course, goes in.
Yeah. Just final one here. We've been through 22 players there. Is Erling Haaland under the most pressure out of all 22 here?
I think so, mate, because when you're looking around this City team, we know it's lacking a lot of goals. You're looking at Erling Haaland as that senior figure right now. He is in that captain's group. You want to see this guy stand up. If we are going to get this over the line, I think he needs to have a really good game. And we know there's a little bit of needle there with Arsenal, Gabriel, etc. Just stand up, bro. Stand up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have this in the palm of your hands. We know you can cause them trouble. I think with Semenyo by your side as well, I think it's going to be an interesting one to see how Arsenal cope.
Yeah.
But let's see, man.
That's it. We're going to do our predictions now. So go and check that out, please. If you've got to this point of the video, thank you very much. I appreciate you all for listening. And let us know your combined 11 in the comments below. We really want to hear your thoughts. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate it. See you on Sunday.
Cheers, bro.